8,
Ah!
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're live.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another great stream of Aether's Workshop, Starry Eyes, where we give you the tips and tricks on how to improve your animation that you submitted to us. Today is going to be, well, obviously, it's like Thursday, and it is not in the middle of the night, or middle of the morning, depending on where your time zone is. But that is not the only cool thing that's happening today. We actually have a guest with us today. That's right. You asked, you requested. Geeks here.
Wait, they're requesting what?
I mean, somebody did somewhere.
I guess I did.
Yeah, there you go. Someone requested.
Oh yeah. Hello.
Hi. We are Starry Eyes, and we got 3. So we got Sprite Star, the person responsible for Olympia. Got me, the person responsible for Astra, and we got Geek responsible for Malo.
Yep.
I almost forgot. I'm blanking out. Definitely a 100% professional, guys.
Oh yeah, totally professional stream. But we actually got some really good submissions that were sent in, and we're going ahead and go straight into it with everyone's favorite gun-toting crab. So artillery crab, I think that's the name of this character. Well, is going to be our first submission.
Is that a battle crab?
Yeah. It looks like a battle crab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See.
I don't know if the sprite's on screen yet because of the stream delay or anything.
Oh yeah, it's up.
Okay, cool. So
We'll just have to see it in the chat.
yeah.
We go in order anyway.
Yeah.
Definitely 100%.
So one thing I want to point out, the weight on this is really strong. I really like it.
Oh yeah.
It's got really good pacing to it.
It's like everything's like properly planned. Like even like the hat falling down at the very end. It's still there. I love it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this like actually polished up and having like the actual like muzzle flash and all that.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna look super cool.
All right, so let's pick this out. Not gushing. Okay. I'm gonna be honest here. I can't pick out the first time I saw it. You guys have any?
If I had to like actually criticize anything, he's kind of slidey. Like the legs don't leg; they just kind of move.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just having the legs bend a different direction, like more bending inward instead of like sliding out, would definitely help with that. It's also because of how the animation looks, the legs kind of have like the extend leg syndrome that a lot of animators do, because maintaining mass is actually really hard. So it just looks like the legs actually grow longer during this animation.
Yeah.
But I get what they're trying to get it from, since like there's the recoil from the blast above kind of pushes the legs down instead of like, having it like bend inwards. But also I noticed something on the leg, right? Like it suddenly like looks straight on the upper leg.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
suddenly
Interesting.
The legs is probably like the weakest part of this whole animation, and it's already a great animation as is. Like,
Yeah.
even with that, like, I think everything else that's happening on top of it is enough to mask it if you're, wanting to not do that. But if you're trying to get like the most out of your animation, definitely attacking the legs and the legs alone will be the one thing that you should focus on. Everything else is freaking beautiful. I love all of it. It's the legs is the one thing that's holding it back.
Yeah.
It's like I like how it's like there's a lot of anticipation before like the shot is going out with like the crab hands shaking on the top.
Yeah.
Love that. You're doing great for this one, and it's a very nice first entry. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's very strong submission. But yeah,
Right.
I don't think there's much else we can say to that other than the legs. So we're gonna move on to our next submission, which would be another Peacock submission. These sprites keep varying in size. There we go. Okay. So,
Nice.
as a huge fan of Skullgirls, I can tell you right now that this is the taunt for Peacock, which is, if I remember correctly, is light kick, heavy kick, medium punch, up to do the input for that, which is the same input for Shinko from Darkstalkers. I don't know why I need to flex that information, but there you go.
I'm just gonna do deep head up.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a pretty nice animation. It's very one-to-one to how actually looks in game. Like it makes me happy so much seeing this animation. Especially with the birdie in there also following the animation. Just a lot of good things happening here.
Compared to the other animations, this actually is much more like better than the rest right now.
Definitely seeing a lot of improvements.
I didn't notice until now, but there is actually a third little thing that also raises the hat. It's only like 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I just noticed that. Holy shit.
Also something I want to point out is the hat doesn't really have like a back to it.
Oh yeah, it's. I mean, I understand why.
Like
that's something you should probably attack next, because that's probably the one. It's very clippy. Probably get that checked out. But other than that, pretty good.
Yeah.
It is a really good interpretation of what she does into a rival style. It's very nice.
Yeah.
I really can't point out anything on this one except the clipping on the back of the hat.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned it, but like I was going to say, it is like pretty much perfect enough.
Yeah.
And then notice how stiff the ribbon is.
Yeah. Using the ribbon as like some sort of like secondary motion to make the still frames not look so still is it's a tactic that I always do. I actually do that a lot with Olympia's tail. That whenever I'm having like a hold frame of some sort, I actually animate the tail as it's like still going on and doing whatever its own thing is doing. So it would look like it's not like, oh, it's just a still frame with just like the shine effect over it, and just like, no, the tail is moving, that means it counts. And the same for like her baggy pants as well. Yeah, moving the ribbon will definitely help out this animation as well, just to keep it as lively as possible without doing like some weird like subpixelation on like random parts of it, which you don't really need for this.
And you just really need to be a little bit subtle. You don't have to like go all the way. It's just like maybe just a single frame where it just bobs a bit.
Yeah,
would be fine.
Yeah, just like rectangle select, select the bottom of the ribbon and just like move it 1 pixel to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. You don't have to do like some crazy movement or anything. You don't need it to do like a 360 rotation around or anything. Just like move tool left, move tool back. That's it. Stuff as simple as that will actually like help out a lot. And that's advice for everybody as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty much that. It's like it's already perfect as it is.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The ribbon, you don't have to do much because like it's a minor nitpick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest here. It's a minor nitpick, but it's like that small amount of detail that it could just make it a little bit better,
Yeah.
just a tiny bit.
Mm.
I'm holding out my like hand, doing this P shape on my hand, and no one could see it.
All right, let's move on to the next submission, which is actually a newcomer to Aether's workshop, till Starry Eyes.
I love how they look. Like already, how I love how they look. That might be a bias. They look so much like Astra. I'm not gonna lie.
There is a resemblance.
There is a resemblance, but it's like different.
She has sleeves. It's not the same.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
It's not a poncho. It's an actual cloak. It's the.
Yeah. It's like a mage garb, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
I think, yeah.
But
All right.
First,
So there's a lot to break down on this one.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's a good little bit. The first thing that's screaming to me is the gem and how it moves.
Oh yeah.
Everything else is passable. I'm not sure if this is like your first rodeo you've been to with pixel art or anything. But just like, again, this may be a little bit too much of a nitpick coming from the guy that made Olympia, but I don't think rocks grow that fast.
I can see what they're doing. It's a little bit of a stretch and squash
Yeah.
rule, but I don't think it needs to apply here.
Yeah, there's the thing about like squash and stretch. Like, there's places where you can use it, and then there's places that you kind of don't need to. Like, for example, you don't need to squash and stretch like a tree, like standing there. Like, just the leaves blowing is enough. You don't have to like make it all whimsical and have like tree like do the wave or something. Like, you don't have to do any of that stuff. For like attacks and stuff, squash and stretch definitely, but elements like the gem here or like a necklace or something like that, like accessories and things in nature that doesn't really move that much, you don't need to exaggerate that much, unless it's like Cuphead, which is like the only exception because it's Cuphead.
Yeah.
But just keeping the size of that consistent, even with that in mind, it's not gonna hurt, especially since the motion of the body is like following like this really interesting like circle motion with just how the body is moving. Just keeping the gem like consistent during that will not make it look that jarring. But yeah, just moving that one frame over for the gem to keep it consistent will be the thing that will be my advice.
Yeah.
For me, the first thing I noticed here is basically like it feels like it's just keyframes,
Oh yeah, definitely.
right?
Yeah, I
Because
noticed
like
that.
it snaps all too much. Like I see like there's like some subtle sub-pixeling, but I feel that it's just keyframes currently, right? Like it could use like some in-between frames, and then like if you add like a bit more frames to the motion, like not like every single frame after every keyframe kind of thing, but it's just like enough to smooth the motion out. Because right now it's like you could definitely mitigate that with a gem problem, right? And you should look into what we call subpixel animation, and that should help you like do like in-betweens for each of these, because right now it looks like it is a keyframe, but I could understand why you animated like that, because there's not a lot of pixel space to convey that exact motion either. Have you noticed that? It's like they're moving just one.
It's very
like,
jittery.
It's very jittery.
Yeah.
I see that they're trying to do like some kind of subpixel animation with the shading too. But you should probably look into like trying to make it a bit more subtle with a motion. Like you got the bottom of the cape.
Yeah.
The bottom of the cape, just perfect. Now if you could just apply that to the rest of the clothing, or the motion, then you could do that too.
Yeah.
Like, it's especially noticeable on the hands, especially the one holding the amber looking. Like, there's only 3 frames there, but on other parts you can tell there's like 6, so it's kind of jarring.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
There's uneven movement going around. Like,
There's also like the head,
oh, yeah, the head
and
is...
it's all about timing.
Yeah. I think what's the problem with the head is that, like, you want to show off the head bob, right? Like, to show off the actual motion of the idol, but you're kind of implementing it in the wrong way. It would make a lot more sense if, like, the feet is the one thing that's making the body, like, the head going up, instead of growing neck for like 2 frames. You know, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
A
Since
rule,
especially like the whole body is moving.
oh
right?
yeah,
The whole body is moving, so like the knees should be the one that's helping the head bob motion and not the head itself.
yeah. I said this before in the extended workshop server for someone else that was doing another animation of sorts, and my rule of thumb for things like idols and things like that is just like general physics stuff, unless you're rubber hosing or whatever, is that when you're moving, if you're making like an animation where a character is like moving its body up and down or back and forth or something like that, pick one part of the body that can move, that can bend like that. For example, what I normally go for is the legs. Where the knees would bend, that's what you should focus on, where your animation is going to be going, right?
Yeah.
Clear case for that would be Olympia's idol. There's a lot of movement in her legs, but not a lot in her torso. But because of the movement that she has, it makes it look like one unified thing. By picking where the legs are, or you can even do it as like bouncing on like the balls of your feet, where it's still the same animation, but like one part of the body is moving, and just keeping the rest of the body moving with it will give you that same effect without having you needing to sacrifice just mass and moving, like adding mass to one part of the body to the other. It's just like an anatomy thing. We've given this piece of advice a couple of streams, but couple of podcasts, and that's act out your animations.
Oh yeah.
That totally helps. I acted out Olympia's animation like before I even started spriting it, just to make sure I got the right one.
Yeah. And the same thing with Lastra too. I did all of that motion, except like the taunt. I need to pick that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Also, minor thing. There's also the consistency on the. I think that's a spell book. Someone told it was like a small hot potato.
Like a little
bread,
cooked
like a piece
yam.
of bread.
Yeah.
I thought it was a chunk of amber.
I thought it was a chunk of amber too.
Yeah, it's not a lot of readability here, and I think that's it's because of its constantly changing in mass too.
It's okay to copy and paste sprites.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like
yeah, it's okay. In this case, if it's like a solid like a book, you don't really need to animate it.
Yeah.
If it's solid, unless of course it changes orientation, and then that's the time you like animate it too. And also,
clarity is important.
And also like, okay, this is my favorite one. It's a Motorola G7.
Nice.
G7. All right, I think we're done with this one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, the character design is absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I just think it needs to be translated to sprite work a little better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also
Yeah,
a little
so
nitpick. The little nitpick.
yeah.
The tail kind of hovers 1 pixel above the ground for.
Oh yeah. I just noticed that too.
Yeah, just keep that in mind. But
Okay.
you're heading towards the right direction. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really good start.
Next up is something a little more simple, and I personally don't know how to feel about it because of its simplicity.
Yeah.
But it's a Pikuniku, whatever the crap that is. So,
Yeah.
I
It's a Pikuniku. It's a physics-based game, and they totally do walk like that.
yeah, that was one of the notes that was left behind. Where it's like, yeah, they walk like this, but I want it to be reviewed. That's the thing about this. Like, it's really slidey. It's all right. In isolation, just looking at it as a still image with just parts moving, it looks fine. All right, it's passable. It's to the source material. But if you put it in game, it just looks like there's no weight to it at all. Like a physics game character has no weight with this animation, and that's like my biggest gripe with it. And that's just how it looks. This might be like either a really weird walk animation or just a straight up run animation, but it doesn't. It just doesn't illustrate that well to me.
Yeah, it works like a direct reference to the game, but like even in the game, there's like some kind of weight to each leg, or rather each foot of contact.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't slide like that.
And I did watch a bit of the gameplay just to see like how it looks in game, and he does have like a little bob to it. Like
Yeah.
his head does actually move up and down, even if it is entirely physics based. I think they like forced it a little.
Yeah, it just to sell the emotion a bit. Like I noticed that too when I watched it a bit too. It's like there should be a little tiny subtle bob. It doesn't have to be very pronounced. It could be just 1 pixel down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I could see how that could feel too snappy, like the problem we had on the last sprite too. There are ways to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for this one you have to work this one out.
Yeah.
I go ahead. Sprite.
There is a point that I want to make for characters that are trying to stick to source material, like workshop creators that's trying to make guest characters. You don't gotta make it 1-to-1, especially if it's something that's not as lively in animation as Rivals. Case in point, Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight does not move the way that he moves in Rivals as he does in his own games. Like, there was a lot of creative liberty, and the references are just on what he uses and just other like tidbits and personality things that they added into it. I feel like that's the best way of doing it. And the same for like Joker and Banjo and Kazooie and all that. Like, they don't move exactly that way, but there's hints of it. You don't have to keep everything 1-to-1. Like, even with like Mega Man, like he doesn't move that way in games. It's just the reference to it. You could still take creative liberties and still have it be a reference for the sake of just making a stronger animation.
Yeah, another good reference of this is basically Zero from Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh yeah.
Like they took the stance and everything, but it's not a 1-to-1. It's like there's still, it's definitely still Zero. It's definitely still like, it looks like Zero. It's not a 1-to-1. It's like there's still like a bit subtle differences to make it fit into the game that you're placing it basically. So you don't have to like do a 1-to-1 representation. And for this one, it's like it could use a little bit more personality.
Yeah, you're heading in the right direction, but you still need to, in order for it to be like an actual strong animation, like stronger than it already is, and have it illustrate what you're using it for, you got to break those boundaries that you're already setting up for yourself and actually make it look stronger of an animation. Because again, this is fine, but it needs some work for it to be like, oh my god, it's like Pikuniku looks so good in this game, and it's like, oh, it's Pikuniku. Like that's the kind of reaction I've gotten out of this, instead of oh my god, someone made Pikuniku. What even is that? It's like, oh, it's Pikuniku. Like it's like it's that kind of reaction that you're aiming for, and the animation on its own for something as like a walk animation, that's the first thing people are gonna see. Outside of like the idle, like you hit left or right, whichever direction you're facing, and that's the first thing they see. It's like, oh, this is gonna be good. Like that's first impression. And I'm not really getting that strong of a first impression for this one. It's getting there, but you need to sell it some more. That's all you need.
Also, hot take moment, bad opinion zone. I see a lot of people doing like the really simple looking characters like Bandana D and like the like Peacock here and all that are just like a circle or like a square or something. And I think a lot of the reason why the source material has the character design so simple like that is so they can focus better on having real stylish animation for that.
Oh yeah.
Like Kirby, for example, he's a marshmallow. He squishes a bunch. And you couldn't really do that with a really complex character without torturing yourself with the animation.
Mm-hmm.
So like having a simple character design like this one lets you just go crazy with the animation.
Yeah. Good example for this. Also, base cast, technically, in Rivals of Aether, Ori. That's a super simple design compared to everybody else, but like, my god, the animations are like the best in the game in my opinion, because of its simplicity.
Did you actually know that Ori's a 3D model in their game?
Yeah?
Like, it one to overkill.
But,
yeah, I think the next Ori game is like completely 3D too.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, yeah. I'm waiting for that.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, sell your animations, even if it's a simple character, just do it. It looks a lot better that way. No one's gonna yell at you for it. Just do it.
Capture the feeling, not the image.
Exactly. All right. We're going to go to our next submission. And that would be an Upstrong concept where a dude fires a gun into the air.
Yeah. You know what it feels like? It's like a shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I can't tell if it's a shotgun, but if it's a shotgun, I'm happy. Anyway, I don't know if this is from... Is this unique, like an OC, or
I believe this is an OC of sorts. I don't recall like, anything like with this character in it.
Game. Yeah.
Not sure.
Like it feels like it's from another game, like a Flash game.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're here to critique animation and not here to speculate where this is from.
Yeah.
All right. But hey.
Go ahead. Wait.
Okay, so but this is a really good animation. Like by its own, I love it. I love the motion. I love how it sells the entire thing. But there are minor imperfections that we could point out.
Mm-hmm.
The very first thing that I notice is the left leg. Like, have you noticed like the?
Oh, it's not bending at all. It's just there. It's like super stationary.
Like the shorts is bending, but like the bottom of the leg looks like it's snapped out of the place.
Yeah, and I know knees are a thing, but that doesn't look like a knee thing.
Yeah, they don't bend inward. That's an outward bend.
Yeah. Ow.
How about you guys? What do you guys point on this one?
It feels like it needs a bit of an exaggeration. Like it feels like it needs to pause a little bit when the gun is like aimed, because this is a strong. I'm assuming it's gonna pause for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't really like settle into position. Which, if you're gonna charge it, it's gonna look like it's just gonna freeze instead of like actually charging or waiting or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I know exactly what could make this a little bit better to sell that motion. Aiming. Like, show them that they are aiming and not instantly just shooting it the moment they got the gun out.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It makes more sense with the speed of this animation, too. If it was like a... The pose of this character is very deliberate, right? Like, they know where they're going to aim at, but the motion is also, like, super slow, so it just looks like, all right, just gonna lift my arm up and bam. Like, that's just...
Yeah.
It's I feel like there's a lot more that you can do with this as far as like the exaggeration and anticipation for this. Another thing that I would probably add is like add a little bit more recoil to the actual like shotgun stick.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
Yeah,
just
it looks like a powerful blast.
Yeah.
Right. It needs a recoil.
just a frame before like the actual like flare of the muzzle. Just like copy paste that frame and then like rotate the stick a little bit. That's all you need. That's literally all that you need. You can do like a little more with like the torso and stuff, like right under where the armpits are, and just like move everything that's connected from the armpits up and like rotate that backwards a little bit for like one frame, and that will like sell it by so much. Like it doesn't even have to be like a crazy exaggeration, like all like damn near backbend. You don't need it. Just a little rotate for a frame, and that's all you need for that. It's pretty good. I actually really like this animation. Leg is a thing. Probably should get that checked out.
Oh yeah, and on the upper right arm, it's like a bit stiff.
Yeah.
On the very first few frames, it looks extremely straight. That's not how shoulders work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, even with all that, this is a really strong animation. Like despite all that, like it's really good. And this animation is getting you to the intermediate part. Like you're no longer in the beginner stages of pixel art. Like you've gotten a good like idea on how you want your like pixel art to move, and that's like the first hurdle of like being a pixel artist, like knowing how you personally would want your pixel art to move. And you're getting like you've passed that threshold. You know what you're doing now, as far as like what your planned movement is. Now your next solution to aim for is how to get that animation to look as strong as possible, and that's when you transition from intermediate to advanced. But yeah, you're doing pretty good on this. Just need to fix the shoulder, legs, and the anticipation, and you got yourself a strong animation for an Upstrong. Can't wait to see what comes out of this one.
Oh, little side note I want to point out, just like something I kind of noticed. I like how it kind of reminds me of just like not like school book doodle, I guess.
Oh,
it
yeah.
It gives me that kind of vibe. Like the shotgun is just like a stick.
Oh yeah.
And I really like that.
This gives like 2007 Flash vibes, and I actually like it.
Yeah.
It has its own charm to it.
Yeah, it's like weirdly cozy. It's like nostalgic a little.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Also, thing to point out, maybe you could just sell bringing out the shotgun better. Like they clarified it is an OC, it is a shotgun. So you when you're bringing out the shotgun, maybe instead of just bringing out from like the right thigh, make sure that your arm actually goes from behind the character. Like if it's like a shotgun that appears out of nowhere, regardless, you gotta show like where it's from. It doesn't shrink from the pocket.
Oh yeah.
Right. So
like
you could like make it basically come out from the back.
Yeah. Like
Oh, and since this is a shotgun, I would love to see you improve on that shot. Like at the very end, right? You don't immediately put down the gun. I want it to basically feel like right?
oh yeah,
yes.
the reload.
Yeah, like you cock the gun afterwards before you put it back.
That also makes more sense with like the bullet the excess bullet falling out, because that's what it's supposed to show off as well.
Yeah, the casing. I would say either do the pump action thing or do that like old style shotgun thing where they just like crack the barrel open and it like spits out the shell out of the back.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds a little bit better.
Yeah. There's some good little
Depends on what kind of shotgun.
Yeah, there's some pretty good ideas that's going around for this. You could do it from like the like pulling out the shotgun from the magical back pocket that a lot of cartoons do. You could do it from like over the shoulder if you really want to do that. It all follows that same like resting point on where you're aiming, so you don't have to like redo the entire animation, just like a couple of frames before it. And then just like showing off that, oh yeah, this is a shotgun, reload, or like getting rid of the casing of the bullet. Like that kind of stuff not only like helps show what is going on after the fact, but also gives like not only the character personality, because you know they're wanting to do the thing. Yeah.
Check the chat before you check the next sprite.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's yeah. I got that one planned. But yeah. Shotgun stuff. You got a lot more creative minds and stuff going on that. You got us all excited for this animation now with just that alone. So like you got some good little stuff to work with. And it doesn't take that many frames either. So yeah.
Also, just like when he pumps it, just steal Malo's sound when he picks a bomb.
Yeah. Or just rip one from Metal Slug. No one cares.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. All right.
Nyx is a creator that is a newcomer. Well, not newcomer. Well, it's a recurring.
It's a new character.
Yeah, new character. Same artist. Zeta's back on her bullshit and brought her brother.
Oh god. Getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Yeah.
It's great. I love the Void Foxes theme, by the way.
Oh yeah.
They are cool.
I'm gonna be the first one to say it, and I know everyone's thinking it. Mega Man Zero is a great game. Thank you for doing this animation. I know that's Omega. I know that animation from anywhere, and that's not a bad thing. I love it.
And you go like, "Why I miss you?" But hey,
really solid animation.
Oh yeah.
The style, just like the blade, just animates style there. It just doesn't like, recoil back. It does feel like an actual it summons.
Yeah.
The blade. It's great.
Yeah.
I don't really have much to nitpick on this one.
The tail.
You guys?
Starting part of the tail.
Right. Yeah.
It's the top part of it.
Noticed that.
Like,
I'm about to say it.
The upper half is fine, right? Like, it's hair and fabric. It's fine. Tail is a little too stationary with what's going on, and it's just. You could sell that wind is blowing, like the magical wind that only affects your character is blowing, by just animating the tail a little bit. That's all you need. Yeah. That's literally all you need. Everything else, A+. I love it. This animation is perfect. Just sell the wind a little more with the tail movement. That's all you need.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so a tiny little nitpick. I think the feet are a little too slidey. Like, it feels like he's putting all of his weight on one foot, like on the front foot.
Yeah.
But that still slides back a pixel, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Though that might be the point of the motion too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's more so of an alignment thing, because he does kind of slide a little forward for that. But again, that's just like moving.
Oh, I just noticed the toe kind of increases.
Oh yeah.
On that one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that's just like the foot rotating away from the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, that's like something that you can still fix easily.
Just that's tiny.
Yeah.
This
But
sprite is fucking fantastic.
Yeah. amazing animation. You've won my heart immediately.
Yep.
But yeah. Tail and shoe. That's all you need to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're winding down to the end of the podcast, and we have one more submission that was sent in by our favorite time traveling Fox. Yeah, looks pretty good. What do you guys think?
Good.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, thanks everybody for joining the podcast. Be sure to check in on our next stream. We'll let you guys know what's going on. Thank you for submitting all of our submissions. Squally, I know you're going to DM us later. You got it. It's fine. Good. Damn
It's
it.
great.
Good.
It's already perfect.
Jeez.
I'm not gonna lie. We really can't pick out any of this. This is like the first thing we picked up.
All right.
All right.
We'll catch you guys
sure
on
to-
the next one.
Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, give me money on PayPal.
Yeah, go support Geek. You might have him next time.
Yep.
Don't know. We'll see. I might have more. I don't know. Well,
I might show up
Yep.
if I want to.
Somebody's going to show up.
Yeah, remember to find your way and reach your games. Games? Games? Find your way and reach your dreams.
Peace
Keep it
out,
simple,
everybody.
guys.